identity for some people or as a jumping off point for others. We definitely enjoy both sides.
You used to pretty much know that when you would go to a package store, kind of before the explosion of everything, that there were exceptions, but you pretty much knew that every beer on the shelf was going to be a good beer. Drinkable kind of good beer. And now with the advent of just this explosion, that's not true anymore.
When I was a kid and prior to that, people drank a beer and they identified with that beer. And if I'm a Bud drinker, my son's a Bud drinker, and my grandpappy drank Bud, and that's what we drink. And oh, you're drinking Miller? Well, that's crap.
There was like this old guard and the new young guard.
Craft beer, local beer brewing is experiencing a renaissance.
We've had this massive growth for 5 years.
Over 4,000 breweries in the US now.
We're over 5,000.
Like beer is like a recession-proof business plan. I mean, everyone likes beer.
We seem to be at this moment in time where the quality of everything is just so high, the level of knowledge that's accessible to everyone is just so vast.
I would say that no matter where you are in the country, no matter who you talk to, they think they're in the hotbed of brewing.
The younger drinker isn't like, I gotta get myself into some Heinekens. The younger drinker is thinking, I gotta go up to Maine and go to Bissell Brothers, and I gotta go to Portland and go to Allagash.
It's almost like Pokemon or Magic or something. Like, I gotta trade and collect, and it becomes less about the product and the enjoyment.
I guess some people are there for the beer, but a lot of it's the chase and the bragging rights that I got 2 cans of X, Y, and Z, or 3 cans of X, Y, and Z.
Fear of missing out.
As with anything that's fashionable, there are always going to be people who take it to an extreme.
One of the really good ways to fully experience a beer is retro nasal smelling.
Some people's business models are you're never happy with what you have. Like, you're always constantly having to do more and more and more. I mean, I literally dreamt of a small farm brewery, and I just went with it, and I went with it, and I went with it, and I poured everything I have into it. I can't even feed my family, and I've been working for 5 years and I haven't made any money. I'm sorry, I'm not building a greedy business model. So for me, when I see bigger places collapsing, I see it as a business model that it was inherently greedy, and I'm sorry, that's American culture.
What I lose sleep over is lag fermentations and quality and my staff feeling right about their jobs and our insurance bill. With the amount of great beer out there right now, average isn't gonna cut it. It's like you have to be better. But as a brewer of 2 decades and now a business owner, I think we'll be able to get some hops in there. I'm thinking my family, my children, my roof. I have this opportunity, I can't pass it up. And so it was a really tough decision that I had to make real quick.
So people don't hear the story, all they see is the beer on the shelf for the most part. Where this business started was, 2 passionate friends trying to help each other achieve their dreams and kind of weave them together. We had a bad situation with our landlords, and we had to go, and we didn't really have a home per se. We come here and they help us out because they're in a position with a lot of tanks and a lot of equipment. I occasionally worry that, the floor is gonna cave in or something like that, but it's never happened. So Evan and I had different ideas about where our business was gonna go to. That's kind of a nice way to say it. I think we had a personality clash and we don't talk very much anymore. It was nice, but I can't really make it work, so here I am.
You've got, people who are in their 20s finding millions to build breweries with no experience.
I thought it was I was the only person with a great idea to start a brewery. And at the same time, there were 2 other breweries starting in East Hampton at the same time. So my idea wasn't completely unique.
I'm from Glass Bottom Brewery. They said, never heard of you, I'll take 10 cases.
Over 1,000 breweries became licensed in 2016.
It's been awesome. We never expected to grow this fast or this big.
Would I be surprised if a quarter of them are gone within 5 years? Absolutely not.
First thing he did was start complaining about all the beer in the marketplace. I'm going, but you're responsible for a dozen of them. I mean,
if we had tried to do this 10 years ago, we'd have gone broke in no time, because then the price of hops was so low, it was way overproduced, and the craft beer industry hadn't really built up yet. Now it's going great guns. It seems like there's a new brewery opening up in the state about every week.
I think it's very possible to perceive craft beer as an easy industry to enter.
Some people brew a few homebrew batches and they think their friend said it was great and they think they're world-class brewers.
Oh, I homebrew. I can be a brewer. All these homebrewers I know are turning into professional brewers. Let's do this.
The last thing we need is a bunch of people opening breweries that don't have a clue in what they're doing.
There's no respect for the knowledge that's out there in the industry. And there's a lot of knowledge, and it's going away.
I don't want to see those basic things about beer lost to the future.
Unfortunately, not everyone can be successful or last forever.
The risk is huge, the challenges are significant, and we have a hard time figuring out what that means.
With, the kids that are starting up, they're not helping in any way. They're just draining on the system.
I got a big ego, so does everybody else. Welcome to beer. It's in full fucking ego town all the time.
There's personality clashes and everything, but I think the reality is we all kind of get along. Some of my best friends are brewers. Some of my best friends are my biggest competitors.
And friendship is friendship, and business is business.
So I'm having a tough time staying in the business, essentially.
The politics involved with just getting all the beer together for this event. I felt like I was like some kind of diplomat trying to just get everybody to get along so we could all be in the same room without a fight breaking out.
You have the white whales that underproduce and create artificial scarcity in the marketplace so that they can portray that they're an exclusive product. And they don't distribute it, and they hold it in-house, and they limit, make people wait 3 hours for a case of beer.
It seems to be working really well for them, and I certainly don't hold them a grudge. In certain cases, I envy their success.
Literally you could put whatever you want on a beer label, and there's no enforcement.
This is completely illegal, what I do.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing on earth. It's beer.
There's going to be some change.